Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready to slaughter? Today is the day that we have our Slaughterhouse Chaac skin, if it doesn't get delayed again. But, as requested, and as the time comes, it's Friday the 13th, and a very special event happening this weekend with the Slaughterhouse Chaac. So, in celebration of all that goodness, we are going to redo a nice Chaac build. So, my first Chaac build, you can still use it, or the latest one, besides this one, the one before this. You can still use that one if you wish, but I'll be giving some other tips and whatnot in this build video. This is a different build, obviously. So, actives. To chase down your prey, you may want some, a variety of actives. Now, Creep and Curse is one to stack on top of your 3. Now, if you feel like your 3 is not slowing them down enough, Weaken and Curse or Feeble and Curse, whichever one you do need. Now keep in mind, Feeble and Curse is a lot different from Weaken and Curse. Feeble and Curse reduces also attack speed by 30%, and then Weaken and Curse is reduced healing. So depending on which, who is your prey, address this accordingly. But you can stack this with your 3 to guarantee them to never get away from you unless they have Combat Blink or something like that. But that works out really well. If you're jungling in Conquest for whatever reason as Chaac, Hand of Gods, obviously. This is a bruiser build, forgot to mention. This is bruiser, not a tank, not a full DPS. This is more bruiser-like. We can get beads. We are CC immune during our ulti, but since we're a bruiser, we're not a full-on tank, so we may need to get out some sticky situations if we can't teleport with our 1 or 2 combo, or if we can't heal up with our 3. So just address accordingly which actives you want. Now going on to the good stuff, the items. I'm going to be starting with Warrior Tabby for obvious reason. We're a warrior, we need that penetration, we don't really need that cooldown reduction that much. Moving on, I'm going to get Shifter Shield as our second item. Now, it is 2,700 gold. I'm aware of that. But I personally feel this works pretty good for Chaac, mainly on the passive. He kind of relies on heavy power. Most warriors do rely on, a great amount of power. And this gives you that power. It gives you 60 power as long as you're above your 50% threshold. Now, if you get lower, you gain protections. Now, when you get that protections, it's going to slow you from getting burned down. It's going to allow you to recoup and start healing yourself with your 3 and get you back up over that 50%. So you can turn around and slaughter them with your, back up to 60 physical power from this item. Next. Now, the third item slot is really up to you. Hide the Urchin is a good balance if you're fighting a balanced team. Now, if you feel like you need more magical defense, if you're fighting, that's more of your issue, definitely go Stone of Gaia. So if you're not familiar, defense, magical, talisman, top left, a cheap Stone of Gaia works wonderfully for Chaac. The passive works really well on top of your 3. So this is going to allow you to regenerate your health super quick with Stone of Gaia and have a lot of magical protection. So that's another alternative, optional item, whatever you want to call it. It's really great if you're, having some magical issues. But if you're not having that and you're fighting a balanced team, Hide and Urchin works really well. Since we are on the offensive, we're going to get those assists and kills, so we're going to get our passive pretty easily. So in total, that's 65 physical and magical protection on top of the health and mana. Moving on, so we got a defense item as our 3, as our third item. We're going to go with Shin Size as our 4th item. Now Shin Size is super effective on Chaac. Getting that attack speed that we need, since Rage no longer gives us attack speed, this is going to help us out so much with that attack speed, and more so building our passive. Every 5 hits, basic attacks, you get a free ability, so having that attack speed is going to help out. The passive works in the same way as penetration, somewhat ideally, on the hints of, if you're fighting a tank, 5% is going to be a larger chunk of damage added on. So Shin Size works really well for any damage build you're going for. Now, if you don't want Shin Size and you need, penetration, you're fighting tanks, I'll probably go with Executioner. So still on the topic of attack speed, and Rage no longer gives that to you, we're going to need attack speed. Now, Executioner is really great. This is the same amount of attack speed as Shin Size, so you're not going to be losing too much. I mean, it's a trade of just a passive. I mean, the power is exactly the same. So with the passive here, that's going to burn down anybody that's building physical protection against you. And then finally, we have the Rage and Deathbringer combo. This 2 combo is going to give you those really high numbers in dealing damage. So I went ahead and got a 10 stack of Hide of the Urchin. So that brings us up to 158 physical protection and 128 magical protection and 200 physical power at a 1.5 attack speed. So this is what our attack speed looks like. Now back on the topic of attack speed, we kind of need it since if you notice he ranges from a different variety of damage output. What I'm trying to say is he has a hit progression. His first ability is, his basic, flat damage, and then his second attack, that attack chain, is about half, and then the third is like 1.25 or so. We're going to heal up the power of the heal. So you'll see what I'm talking about if I can reach him. So as you notice, we hit really hard with our last hit. So let's see if I can kind of demonstrate this a little bit better. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I didn't get a crit on that last hit on the 3 chain, but it's like 480, 280, and then it's like 720. So having enough attack speed, we're going to land, all the hits that we need to get that 3 chain down and get maximum damage output. So that's going to wrap it up for the video. Hope this helps you guys out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.